Greetings everyone. We are finally on air, me and Obsidian and we today will be discussing some topics, and mostly idea is to get involved with our viewers. So if you have any questions, we will gladly answer this. And I think Obsidian, you can start with powers.
Yep. So just like Kornelius said, basically a nice short podcast here for us where we can address some of the questions from the community and just discuss some things about Elite and some things about anything else, really. This week there's been quite a lot of information about the dangerous games out there. A lot of different subjects going on, and one of the big things to crop up was the alliance between SEP, the Border Coalition, and a couple of the other powers, or basically the four bottom-running groups are now competing together to try and compete against EG Pilots and Galactic. So really the Dangerous Games is all about Powerplay, and originally when Powerplay was first discussed about, over a year ago now, Frontier spoke about 20 powers being within Powerplay, but ultimately we ended up with just 10, and I don't think we really all knew just why that was, but there was always talk about the ability for player groups to eventually become a power. So it's seeming quite possible that at this point those other 10 may eventually be made up from other players or other player groups. And personally I find that a really nice way to go about things, although I'm intrigued and curious to see how Frontier are actually going to integrate these player powers into Powerplay, especially any lore or history the group may have, and in particular the portrait. I know some of the groups out there have actually gone ahead and created a portrait, and they got some fantastic artwork for that. So I'm curious to see whether Frontier are going to use that artwork directly or whether they'll create a variation on that.
But they have to keep a style. They have some style on universe, all these characters we see. So probably they will make artwork by themselves.
Yeah, some of the artwork's actually done in a very similar style to what Frontier use, although some of it's not, but yeah.
Is there a way to see them somewhere?
They are dotted around on the various Powerplay threads, but I haven't got them all together in one location.
Okay. And these are all done through community goals, yeah? All these Powerplay games, or how it works? Yeah,
it's all done. It was done in various phases. Phase 1 was the wildcard event, where a bunch of smaller groups had to compete with each other to get into the main Rise to Power games. And the Rise to Power games is obviously about the player groups getting the chance to become an official power. So we're right in the final phase of that now, right midway through. And in the second community goal, there's going to be 3 in total. So whoever wins them will become the power. At the moment, I believe, it's still EG Pilots, right at the top of the second community goal here. So if they win this one, they pretty much win the whole thing, I think. Galactic is still second. I think basically what the second community goal is about is delivering blueprints to a station. And these blueprints you've got to get from convoys. So basically you've got to find these convoys in the system and destroy them. Basically they drop the blueprints and you've got to smuggle them to the system, to the station.
I must confess I did not participate in any Rise to Power event. Have you?
I haven't, no. I've brought my Sidewinder down to this second community goal and I want to get involved in that. There's a bit of a story to that. It took a bit of trouble getting down there, and when I got down there I didn't have my ship outfitted correctly, and so I ended up spending an hour and a half trying to sort that out, because as you know, not all modules are available where and when you want them to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've still got that to look forward to, but...
So we'll have 20 powers, yeah? In the end. Should have.
Well, that's the idea, I believe. That's what Frontier were initially talking about.
But do you remember? I think it was Michael Bruce who said at one point that Powerplay will be... one of the meaning of Powerplay is to involve players more, give meaning in player killings. So, have you ever killed a player in Elite?
Never ever killed a player.
Yeah.
I haven't killed a player since the game was released. I did kill a few players back in beta, though.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favourite things then was when the Lake on Type 9 was the largest ship. Well, actually, they still had the Anaconda, didn't they? But they didn't have any of the. I don't think the Type 7 was in just at that point. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Back when there
No,
was
Type
about
7
5 or 6
actually was
ships.
not. I think it was Type 9, Anaconda, Viper, Cobra, Sidewinder.
Yeah, and there wasn't a Type 6 either, was there?
Yeah,
And
Type 6 came
I
later.
took out the Type 9 and outfitted it all with the missile racks. It was pretty much unstoppable at that point. And yeah,
Wow.
players would interdict you or try and stop you and just spam out the missiles at them, and they'd get a nice surprise.
At that point, I actually used my Viper with cannons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with 500 meters per second speed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was crazy times. And actually, regarding power play, did you pledge to any power?
I did when it first came out. I wanted to know what it was all about, like everyone else. I think I pledged to Hudson for the Federation, and I had a bit of trouble with back then constantly getting interdicted, and trying to do your things separately from Powerplay. You want to do a bit of Powerplay and a bit of everything else, and no matter where you went, I was getting chased and interdicted. So, and when you shoot back, of course, you get interdicted by these ships back then, and when you got interdicted by them and you shot back, you'd get a bounty for defending yourself. So yeah, pretty much since then I haven't had too much involvement with Powerplay, but I do like all the politics that goes on between the various player groups. I like that. I like seeing that side of it.
I actually, when Powerplay came out, I have a lot of fun. Me and my friends pledged to Archon Delane, and we used Imperial slave smuggling. And at that point, actually, keeping rank 5 with Archon Delane was very easy. And you know what rank 5 means with Archon Delane?
What did you get?
You don't have to pay fines and don't have bounties. You can do whatever you want.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were killing everyone. Every enemy we saw, we were just killing them. If we could, of course. We were attacking everybody there. Mostly we were trading, smuggling. And if we saw any players undermining, we just switched ships and went out crazy. I remember I met Codes there. It was funny times.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so
but
basically you could do all that without any repercussions.
Yes, exactly. And that made me feel very, very satisfying. But then they changed. Keeping rank 5 with any power became like a work, I don't want to work to have fun. It's a problem with Elite in most game mechanics. You have to work, have to earn. Why?
Yeah, how many hours do you think now it takes to get to rank 5? I mean, I haven't looked at that for a very long time now.
I don't know. I had a friend who always was rank 5, but after these recent changes, he just said, no, not anymore,
Not
thank
doing
you.
that anymore.
Yeah, 50 million I can earn in a couple hours with my smuggling. I don't want to have.
Yeah, don't need
But it
to
really
all those
takes many hours.
Well, it's going to be the interesting thing about the player groups to see what benefit they actually get. Yeah,
but my problem with power play, it feels wrong because just an example, if you are hostile to enemy power, you can go to any station dock and refuel and rearm, come back and shoot enemies. In which universe this makes sense that you can dock, rearm? This, I know it's a game, but still.
There still should be some things like that. I always remember thinking when you pledge to a power and go to that power's capital, like the capital of the Federation, and you're flying around there and you're still getting interdicted by the enemies, and really that's the capital of the Federation. That should be one of the most secure systems in the whole game. You shouldn't be constantly interdicted in a system like that.
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't separate systems. They have same templates all over the game. So you only joined one power player? One power.
That was it back then, and that's it. I've gone down, like I say, to go and get involved in the Rise to Power event that's currently going on. EG Pilots are doing really well with it, and I've joined. Right, I'm going to join the bottom tier, the one who needs the most help, which I think is ADEC at the moment.
But if EG Pilots will go and rise up, will you join them?
Well, I think it's getting to the point where it might be a foregone conclusion that they're going to actually win. There's so many of them. They've got massive numbers.
Then if
they're really well organised.
If any player
would I pledge to a plague power?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, I think I might actually. I'll go and have a look and see what happens. I mean, for me, it's a bit different now. I've got more than one account, so I can afford to pledge to a power and
it's true.
take the consequences.
You can pledge and head off to unknown exploring.
Yeah, and see what. Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I only switched powers. I actually had 5 or 6 powers. I got only Powerplay modules. These hammers, Imperial, and prismatic shields, and other stuff. That was like collecting modules at that point.
Yeah, I see. They've sort of been a bit outdated with the engineer modules, haven't they?
Yeah, and the sad part, no module storage back then. I had a lot of ships with those modules, no module storage now.
Yeah.
And I need even more.
Well, hopefully that's something that's going to come soon. I keep seeing Frontier mentioning it, but they won't actually confirm at the moment or commit. But
no, actually they confirmed it will be. And as I understand, pretty soon, but soon is very,
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yes.
Yeah. That's going to be a big benefit though, isn't it? The older module storage.
Yeah, of course, it will save a lot of time. That's the most important part.
I'd actually like the ability to carry modules around in my cargo bay as well, but
especially for upgrading purpose.
Yeah, that'd be great. To go take either purchase a module at some distant place or go and get it upgraded to an engineer and then bring it to where you actually need it.
And when is finishing this raised power?
I believe there's one more community goal starting on Thursday, so it should be finished by the end of next week.
So soon.
Yeah, not too long now.
So
it's going to be an annual thing. It seems to be the theory at the moment. It's going to be yearly. So,
but the only question is, they will not add one power. Definitely, they will add a bunch of powers. So that means they have ready like 9 more powers.
Over time, I think, yeah.
Or you think they will add now only 1 power?
I think they're only going to add 1 for now.
But they will have to rework all user interface then for just 1 power. I don't think so. I think they will add, or they will replace the lowest ranked power with this one, which makes more sense.
Yeah, that could well happen. Yeah. It really would mean that the whoever wins would have their work cut out for them in the future, because they're going to have to maintain a certain level of status within Powerplay to retain their position, aren't they?
But it's only if they implement finally these that the last power can lose. Because so far no power ever disappeared.
Not yet. No, there was talk of that, wasn't there, at one point, powers having the ability to disappear. I'm sure I remember Frontier talking about that now you mention it.
Yeah, they said that if they don't expand while they are on, I don't remember last one, I think. If they don't expand in that cycle, they are lost. But I didn't see any power lost.
Not yet. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah. So let's move to Jaques, I think.
Yes. You obviously haven't been out that way yet yourself, have you?
I actually never saw this station in real life. So, do you see it jumping?
Unfortunately, you don't see it jumping. It's it went away at the end of the community goal where it needed to be fueled right up to get jumped to Beagle Point. Beagle Point's one of the systems right at the outer edge of the galaxy where the Distant Worlds expedition went to. But it didn't make it there. It ended up stuck halfway, and you can see a bit of that location in the video footage there.
Yeah.
It's stuck right near a lovely nebula. It does actually look very pretty out there. The starfield's a lot different.
It's definitely very pretty, yeah. And what services this station offers to you?
It's got a mission board, but the mission board, when I last checked, wasn't actually offering any missions. And it's got a commodities market, which I think has just come online. But at the moment, it's not offering any other services, so...
I have a stupid question. What happens if you sell unknown artifact to the station? It will decay and...
and be knackered again, yeah.
You know this, yeah?
Yeah, that's apparently what would happen, yeah. I know a load of commanders are taking, a load of players are taking some meta-alloy out there now to try and get the station up and running again, but... there's probably a load of other players willing to UA bomb it again to get it broken. But
basically there's nothing, yeah, really, like no good missions, no specific commodity?
No, there's nothing there at the moment aside from a station.
Very sad.
Yeah, it's actually a good point for me though, because on the account that I docked there, I've been out in space for over a year now, since April last year. Yeah, dodging back and forward. So that was the first time I docked, was well over a year, and I'm still over 22,000 light years away from home. So I was actually right by that area. Sorry?
Does it count? Does it count to your traveling distance in your stats?
Well, I hope so. I'm waiting for Universal Cartographics to come online so I can sell my exploration data out there.
Wow.
Hoping Frontier bring that online, you know. They tend to have a tendency sometimes to leave those sort of services unavailable, but...
How far it is now from Habitat Bubble?
22,000 light years.
Wow. It's almost, it's black hole, yeah?
Quite a while to get there. Yeah, it's not quite to the centre of the galactic core. It's off to the left as you're looking down on top of the galaxy with the Earth at the bottom of the screen. So it's right at the edge of the place where the stars start getting really dense.
And when you were there, players, you saw other players as well? Or you played in solo there?
No, there's some other players around. Yeah, well, not a lot at the moment, but there's more and more heading out that way, so...
Mostly explorers, yeah?
Mostly explorers, but I think there's going to be a bit of everything. I had a look around the system there, and there's some resource extraction sites set up, so you can actually start doing some bounty hunting if you want, but you won't be able to hand anything in because those services aren't available yet.
Ah, so this station will start some kind of another bubble, yeah?
Well, I don't know. That's what a lot of people are hoping, and there was a recent Galnet article that at the end of it actually said about a load of players going out there and delivering resources, which should hopefully allow for the ability to create additional bases, and it did say that in the plural, bases.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the Jaques station, I think, is in a state of expansion at the moment, but I believe it's in that state because that's the state it was in when it left inhabited space.
But what you need to bring there?
What do you need to bring?
Yes.
Well, meta alloys at the moment, but I know players are bringing all sorts of different things, so...
And where is closest place where you can get meta alloys?
Meta alloys are dropped by the barnacles. The barnacles are alien structures found down on the planets, as you know. And they're found in nebula, and there's a nebula right next door to Jaques station, just one jump away.
Oh.
And there's also another 2 nebula within about a 1,000 light year radius. So within a circle, you've got about 3 or 4 nebula, and then a whole load more right nearby as well. There's literally dozens of nebula right around that area. If you're willing to travel about 5,000 light years, you can get to loads of nebula.
So it actually makes sense to bring meta alloys there. Only, is there any known number how many you should bring, or it's...
No, I don't think it is known how many.
So you don't see like a bar filling up?
No, there's no bar. Just eventually it comes online. I don't know if it's different depending on different stations or different depending on how many unknown artifacts were dropped there.
Yeah, actually,
I'm sure there's some people out there that might have an idea, but
unknown artifacts. You saw an unknown probe, yeah?
Yep, seen that and the unknown artifact.
Have you tried to do something with this probe?
Not yet. No, I haven't actually found one myself yet. I've only seen videos of it. Have you tried?
No, I did not.
Have you not found one yet?
No, I did not see any because I don't explore. And where I fly, there are no probes. There are only pirates. I would like to transform a pirate into probe.
Yeah.
With magic wand.
Have you not been out near... you must have been out near the Pleiades. There's probes around that area.
I was hunting unknown artifacts actually, but I did not see any probes.
No, right. I think they're quite hard to find still at the moment. The unknown artifact was hard to find initially, so...
Yes, because nobody knew. Now it's all over the internet. Actually, the video which I made about this place with crashed anacondas, some guys report that anaconda is gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I did not check myself, but...
There was a couple of crashed anacondas, wasn't there? There was one in the Pleiades and another one in inhabited space in the Rare system.
It's an Ami, I think, yeah?
Yeah.
In Pleiades, but that anaconda did not have unknown artifacts, only these... what was...
antimony, you could
antimony,
get that from there, couldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, in the crates.
ruthenium and beryllium and antimony. But other one gave you unknown artifacts, yeah.
Oh, that might be different to the one I saw.
Yeah. So guys, you will have to fly in space and hunt for... How those signal sources are called?
Down on planets, points of interest.
No. There are unknown artifacts found in signal source in space.
Oh, yeah.
130-50 light years away from Merope.
Yeah, all around that area.
But I don't remember the name. But you can watch in my video and see if you still did not unlock Professor
I remember your
Pelin.
video saying how to find them.
Yeah. So what did you do in Elite recently?
What have I done? Well, last week, as I said, I went down to near the community goal area for the Dangerous Games, the Nervy, and signed up there. Went down with my Sidewinder. Took me quite a while to get down there.
But why Sidewinder?
Well, I'm purposely staying in the Sidewinder. It's a new account. Well, I've had the account about 8-9 months now, but haven't played it a lot. I've only got about 1 million credits on there. So I'm purposely not upgrading too much. I just want to see how far I can go in a small ship and just how much you can actually do.
But it's upgraded ship or it's...
Yeah, yes. It's upgraded. It's upgraded. About as high as I can get now. So,
but without engineer, yeah? No engineer upgrades?
No engineer upgrades. No, I want to start getting that together as well.
What jump range is in your Sidewinder? What jump range you have?
12 light years, I think it was. Around that, 12 or 13 light years.
It's very short range explorer. Yeah. My friend actually went exploring in Vulture once.
Oh, really? How far did he get?
He got pretty far, but he had to self-destruct because, Vulture has very big fuel tank.
Yeah.
And when I asked him why he did it, he said, because I like the view. Cockpit is beautiful. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But he did not calculate properly fuel and he jumped and was out, of fuel.
No. Was that, he probably could have got the help from the fuel rats if they were around back then.
But actually, have you ever encountered fuel rats? Did you ask for help? How fast it takes for them to arrive?
I haven't needed any help from them yet. I've got pretty close sometimes. I've got right down to like 10 light years worth of fuel in the tank and suddenly found the star. But apparently, I've seen reports of people having the fuel rats turn up within an hour, almost no matter where they are within the galaxy. So I guess they're dotted around all over the place.
It's cool.
Yeah. What did you do this week?
Well, this week, last week I've completed my weapon upgrading, but the trouble is there's only one grade 5 mod and it's for multi-cannon. So if you want to upgrade burst, pulse lasers or any other weapons, you will have to wait. And that's what I'm doing now, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
But I can actually show a video, I had very interesting, I think most of us had this. If you are approaching planet and you are interdicted,
oh yeah,
then you can land inside planet. It's quite scary actually. I was -1 meter inside. The distance was -1. Yeah, it's scary.
How far inside was you? Oh, look at that, right through the plane.
Yeah, -1 meter.
There you go, that confirms that. Ever heard of that old conspiracy theory, Hollow Earth theory?
Yes, Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Last time I had this in beta, in Horizons beta. Booms. It's quite scary actually, but you don't die, and that's a good news, so don't be afraid.
When you log back out again, you still inside the... Yeah, I can see all the geometry there, you're underneath it. This actually happened to me when I was on Distant Worlds.
You also?
Yeah,
inside?
I actually clipped into a mountain.
But you were in SRV or
no,
ship?
I was in the ship, and I was coming down from... it's because it was a really high mountain. The mountain was really, really high. And as I come down out of Super Cruise, you glide, don't you?
Yes.
But the glide...
Oh!
The glide was still going on when I come in contact with the mountain, so I just clipped straight through it.
Okay.
And then the glide ended while I was inside the mountain.
You had shields?
Yeah.
And you survived, yeah?
Yeah, shields didn't take any damage going into the mountain, but...
Outside? When you
flying back out of the mountain. Then I took a bit of damage. Did you take damage there? I didn't notice.
Yep, 1 ring.
I
lost 1 ring.
Yeah, yeah. I actually went down to about 5% hull, I think. I lost all my shields and went down to 5% hull.
I imagine if you would not have shields or already damaged hull and booms.
Yeah, that would have been it.
Eject.
Yeah, yeah. A nightmare when you're out that far.
Yeah, especially if you have a lot of exploration data still.
Yes, yeah. Yep. So you're upgrading your module then, or waiting to upgrade your...
Yeah, now I think I will take a pause and wait for next patch, because we don't know what will come. They said some nice things about these, some cool changes like more material spawn and easier to find, upgraded SRV sensors.
Yeah. That's actually what I'm largely waiting for as well. It's hopefully going to be the end of this month, isn't it?
Hopefully. But you know, the problem, in my opinion, again, is that limit again. Because if you want to upgrade your weapons and you want to have special abilities for weapons, and you obviously want to have, because most weapons gain a lot, so you will have to roll weapon until you are satisfied. And when you are, you will have to ask for a favor, and it's 2 levels. Basically, every weapon will bring you down from grade 5 access to grade 3. And get back, you will have to make 6 upgrades. 3 grade 3 and 3 grade 4.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, basically imagine how many materials you will need. And they said materials will spawn more, blah blah blah. Yeah, but same time, you will have to, you can't roll more. Because every time you roll, you will have to get it back, fly again.
Back out and get some more. Yeah.
And the funniest part, I don't know who had this great idea that players want to annihilate haulers. I don't want to annihilate haulers. Do you?
No, I don't. No.
Because most grade 5 upgrades require you to go and kill haulers. Why? Very few upgrades require you to go and kill combat ships. Mostly you will have to kill Type 6, Type 7, Type 9.
I think that's one of the things I've seen mentioned probably the most, really, that about the engineers, how players feel as though they're forced to do certain types of gameplay they might not necessarily normally do or not even enjoy in some aspects. Because obviously with Elite you can play it pretty much how you like, can't you? But in a way, engineers, if you want to do the upgrades, you're kind of forced to do certain tasks, aren't you?
That was my main issue, that I'm forced to do what I need to do. And it's easy fix, actually. The fix is very easy. Give us alternative options to obtain different materials, like 3, 4, 5 different options, and we pick one, let's call it least traumatic to us.
Yeah. So basically you could get the same materials from different activities.
Yeah.
That's what you're suggesting. Yeah.
Yes. We already have missions, but missions are very random. I've seen commanders writing comments like, I can't find exit focus crystals. I did not have any trouble, but I was not hunting them. The fun part, when I was hunting Germanium, I was hunting once. I needed only one. I know where to get it, but I didn't want to go down to planet. I just checked mission. I spent 2 hours, not a single one.
Really?
So, yes, if you want something specific, don't do missions. You will not get it.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? I mean, I was trying to find arsenic, and even though it's only it's a tier 3 material, I believe, isn't it, or tier 2, I found it a nightmare to find, really, really hard to find. And yet, I look at my material lists, and I've already got a stack of polonium, and I've never even been searching for that. Just stuff I've come across. You know, because it's just random all the time. You've got. It's very difficult to find the thing you're actually looking for. At least I find it that way.
You know, it's controlled random. You know where to get it, but there's no guarantee that you will get it. I got one actually from Schnartre Dej ice rings. 1 arsenic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was mining, and boom, arsenic. I was wow.
Then
but only one.
Yeah.
But mostly I was driving on planets, yeah. I really don't like.
You don't like the driving?
Yeah, how do you like this activity?
I like the driving, but I don't like...
shooting canisters.
No, I don't like driving around for 2 hours at a time waiting for something random to spawn. But I do like the driving. Yeah.
But we need more stuff on planets. Then driving will be not so tedious, because if you drive, shoot, drive, it's, I don't know. And are using VR?
I used both screen and VR for the ground. Obviously not all once, but I've done it both. To start with, I've got quite a lot of motion sickness from VR and the SRV because it's so bouncy. But
exactly, that's what
kind of
my friend
persisted
also
with that.
told
I got used to it.
So you actually got used to it, yeah?
I did, but I found it's best if you don't go full speed. If you go full whack, then yeah,
you know what,
Ellie?
Frontier should implement that if you are using VR, you should get double materials for your pain.
For the for the fact it makes you feel ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in ships, VR is very good now.
VR is great, yeah. Yeah. It's really nice in all the ships, actually. And you've got the sidewinder on the Eagle, and you've got this nice snug cockpit that's around you. You've got the whole canopy, your little area you're sitting in, and it literally feels like you're sitting in this little tiny cockpit. But then you've got the larger ships, and you go on the Python or the Anaconda, and you've got this massive bridge. And with the DK2, I haven't tried it with the Vive or the commercial Oculus, but you can stand up and look around and walk around a bit, and you've literally got the whole bridge there. And it just places you in the game. That's the one thing I really do love about it.
So you can't wait to walk around inside ships, stations, yeah?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah.
It really depends how it will be implemented in the end.
Yeah,
we should be able to EVA, board other ships, first-person shooting and stuff like that, but I really am curious to see how it... We will have to wait a couple of years, probably.
I don't know, I think walking around the bridges and the ships, at least, I reckon that's going to come a bit sooner than...
multi-crew, yeah.
But yeah. No, not just the multi-crew, but the walking around. Being able to get out... Because the multi-crew, I don't think you're going to be able to walk around with that particular patch, are you? You're stuck in your seat, but I think the ability to get out your seat and walk around the ships will probably come a bit sooner than a lot of people are expecting. I wouldn't be surprised to see that before the middle of next year.
You know what I'm curious to learn? You did a voice pack. Can you tell a story behind this?
Yeah. For those that don't know, voice
like
packs voice packs are voice command responses, and they plug into a bit of software called Voice Attack, which is a separate program made by a different guy. The guy's Gary, and Voice Attack allows you to give voice commands to your computer. So you can give voice commands to your PC or whatever command you want to, but you can also use it with Elite. So basically, as you're using the game, you can tell your ship what you want it to do, like request docking permission and deploy landing gear or select your targets and so on. And HES voice packs, they make voice responses for the voice attack. So when you issue your computer or your game a command, then voice attack can actually respond with these voice packs. So I've been speaking with HES voice packs. The guy running the show there is Paul, and spoke with him. I've been known him for a fair while now, and we started talking about the William Shatner pack he did. And when I was a kid, I was quite a big fan of Shatner. I loved all the Star Trek movies, and so I went and did a video on that. And eventually, Paul and I got to discussing the possibility of me doing a voice pack. But that's something that's not really just like, oh yeah, you can do that, or no, let's not do that. It's voice pack. A lot of work goes into one of them and a lot of planning. So took a bit of figuring out and working out what we wanted to do and how we'd go about it. But eventually, we did decide to go ahead with one of them. And Paul's really got a lot of experience now with doing all those voice packs. I mean, he's done William Shatner and Tom Baker and Brian Blessed, a whole lot of them. And he's even done one with Verity, which is the default ship's voice in Elite. I don't know if you've ever seen any of these, have you?
No. I just saw your voice pack and it was...
Yeah, so...
but how this happens, actually? You are recording a text that you are giving, or what? How it's happening?
Yeah, so eventually me and Paul decided that we'd go ahead and do me a voice pack, and Paul, he had to write up some script because obviously he can't just go and say, right, we're going to do a few lines here, a few lines there. He put together a script. He's already got a script for most of the other voice packs, but he likes to try and characterise each voice pack a bit, so they're all sort of a bit got a bit of personality to them. So we ended up with a script. It was nearly 100 pages long.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of commands. A lot of it's commands, but there's quite a lot of dialogue in there for the character as well. Some of it I wrote myself, which we did a tour around inhabited space. So the player can sit in their ship and say, basically, they want to do a tour around inhabited space. So they just give an instruction to their ship, telling them they want to begin this tour. And that's where I come in with the lines I've recorded, guiding them what systems to go to.
So you basically are like autopilot, yeah?
Yeah, the guys have to fly the ship there, but when they get there, they get...
You know what we need?
Voice pack jumps in and gives them a little...
We need voice pack, We need voice pack for beginners, where you are saying what to do. Like, when you just first time in ship, Obsidian Ant is telling now, landing gear, deployed, or
that's actually a really
lights
good
on.
Idea. I don't know if that's ever been thought of, but I mean, there's no reason I can't have more added to mine. We've discussed the possibility of adding more content into my voice pack, and obviously anyone who's bought that already would get that as a free update. So
it's not closed, yeah? It's not closed system.
No, it's not closed. We can add more in.
Oh.
Anyone who's purchased it can get more added in. So I mean, we need time in the studio. It was all recorded in the studio. I had 2 days down there for that.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a little bit nerve-wracking because I've never done anything like that before.
But it's a good experience.
Yeah, it's a good experience. You got these guys listening to everything you say, and they're listening to every nuance in your words, listening to exactly how you're pronouncing everything, and you've got to get it all just right. And Paul's good at getting the best performance out of you. He pushes, but I mean, it's a nice atmosphere. It keeps it relaxing, but he definitely gets the best out of you.
Have you tried it by yourself?
No, someone's just asked that. I noticed in the comments. I haven't tried it myself. I'm so tempted to make a video of me talking to myself about it, but I'm not sure how we'll let it go down. But I think it'd be a laugh, wouldn't it?
It would be a laugh. It would be a very weird experience probably as well. And you have also Star Citizen voice pack. Yeah.
So many of the commands, the voice response commands, are similar across Elite and Star Citizen. Obviously, you're in a ship, aren't you? So you deploy landing gear and armed weapons. They're very similar. So a lot of the commands can go from one to the other. But there was a bunch of custom stuff that was needed for Star Citizen as well.
So you enjoyed your time doing this?
Yeah, it was great. Going to be doing another one soon, toward the end of the year. This is going to be a charity pack for special effect. So basically, this is going to be a whole bunch of us involved in it from the community. It's going to be me. I don't know if I can say too much about it at the moment, but
it's for Elite.
It's for Elite, yeah. It's going to be a lot of the people that you know from streams. A couple of the official authors for Elite are going to be involved, and hopefully some people from Frontier themselves are going to be coming down. So there'll be a good number of us, maybe 10, maybe a few more, all involved in recording this voice pack, all going down to the studio together to record our lines. And all the money made from that is going to be going to charity, so no one will be getting any profit at all from that, not even the HCS voice pack. So should be interesting.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah, it should be good. Be a nice chance to meet everyone as well, have a bit of a laugh.
And actually, if anyone in chat can write, do you have Obsidian Ant's voice pack? Anyone has? Well, we will see later answer.
See what they say, yeah. Well, someone's saying they're using voice attack for docking request is super. Yeah, they're using a voice attack for a bunch of commands like that. It's pretty good. You can get it to deploy your SRV and...
Especially if you are in VR, you can't...
That's when it's... I think so it's best. You can't see the keyboard.
Your wife probably thinks you are crazy.
Everyone thinks I'm crazy anyway. So. There was actually a question further back. We just go back and look at that. Talk about VR.
I will go then to Reddit.
Okay.
Actually,
there's a few questions there, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, ask them.
And I'll just have a look at here. JSB, right at the top, he asked, he'd like to ask about Oculus Rift CV1. should he upgrade his GTX 970 card for maybe a 980? Would he see much improvement? Well, my friend uses a 970 on a DK2. He doesn't use it on a CV1 because he hasn't got one of them, nor have I. But he gets pretty good performance on that. That's about the equivalent of my old 780. I didn't have much problem with that. But I do have a 980 now, and I use that on my DK2, and I do get a lot better performance. But the DK2 needs a constant 70 frames a second at 1080p, and the GTX 980 doesn't always maintain that. And keep in mind that the Rift has higher resolution and also wants 90 frames a second. You might want something a bit more than just a GTX 980 if you want a solid and consistent performance. With the new cards coming out as well from NVIDIA, I'd be inclined to wait and see what one of them is. A GTX 1080 or 1070 is probably about the same price as a GTX 980. You'd get a lot better performance from the 1070, so I'd be inclined to go that way, really.
OMG Cow asks, can you obtain hauler materials by killing undermining haulers? Yes, definitely. If you are in a power, killing haulers is less pain. My friend is doing that. I always tell him, let's go kill haulers. He says, no, I'm a power play, I will go and undermine. So any more questions in chat?
It's just a comment there about people asking Elite to be made more linear. I don't think it needs to be made more linear, but I think some more structure in the mission system would be quite nice. What do you think?
You know, it's already quite linear. If you need to get something, you have to go there and get it. You have no options for some materials or some activities.
Yeah, that's true.
But I know what he meant. I would like to see linear stuff for, an example, naval progression. Linear. Would be nice linear missions, some mission trees and some stuff like that. Also, I actually would like to see engineer missions also. Gaining access or, I don't know, some
engineer
stories.
missions, I'd like to see that, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Sandro Samarco was asked that question a few times on one of their live streams, but he said it's not something that's really likely to happen, unfortunately, but who knows, maybe in the future.
I still wonder why we don't have any exploration missions. Why?
Yeah, it's curious, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with what's been going on the last year, I mean, if you go back about a year or so, maybe a little bit more, Frontier were pretty much saying they were happy with exploration in the state it's in at the moment. But since then, we had Distant Worlds. There's well over 1,000 people involved with that. And that got a lot of coverage, didn't it, from all the press. And I think there's been another expedition recently, the Crab Nebula. We got SEP involved with, SEP and Border Coalition involved with Powerplay. They're both essentially exploration groups. So I think pretty much they're showing a lot of, the players are showing a lot of interest in exploration. I think Frontier are paying attention to that because they are saying they've plan on doing some changes to exploration in the future, so.
Passengers might help a little, but you know why there are big interest in exploration? Because mostly there's nothing else to do. Sadly.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I'm really looking forward to passenger missions because I'd like there to be something more to do out in deep space other than just sightseeing. But on the other hand, I'm kind of worried a bit that they may just be A to B missions, take the passenger to this black hole and bring him back again, if you know what I mean. It's got to be surely a bit more to it than that, I would hope.
Goes there, timer starts, timer ends, go back.
Yeah.
I was asked, where are you staying most of the time? As Obsidian is lost in the Milky Way. I'm actually near Founders World always. All my ships are there.
You've got quite a good reputation there with the stations.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because of missions. I did
right
most. Yeah. I'm almost allied. I'm probably allied with most factions there. And Founders World, if you have access to Founders World, there are good missions. But again, you don't need to pick one material and hunt it. You need a list of 20 materials, and then you most likely will have 5 or 6 of them. But if you hunt only one, no, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move. Yeah, sorry?
Just two more points there. Max Rage is asking me if I've returned to inhabited space yet. I haven't. I'm docked at Jaques Station, and I'm hoping that eventually they'll turn on the universal cartographics in the next few weeks to save me the trip back. But I'll let everyone know how much I make. And 42 below is just on the point we're making there about Elite being a bit linear. He's just pointing out that isn't the core appeal of Elite the exact opposite of linear? And yeah, I tend to agree with that. It's nice to be as much open as possible, although some of the recent game mechanics are kind of making things a bit linear, as Kornelius was mentioning just now.
Yeah, it's Sandbox open world game. That's why I don't get why we are forced to kill haulers, only haulers. Why we don't have another options to do stuff. And that's a little bit weird that we are forced. And also driving around, you can't upgrade if you don't drive around. You just can't. And I wouldn't call this player choice. It's forced upon us. Somebody likes driving. I actually would not mind driving, but if I have to leave on ground like 90% of materials because of limit, it becomes very annoying very fast. So let's go to Reddit.
Yeah, and got a few questions there for anyone who's wondering.
So let's start from the top, yeah?
Yeah, you got them filtered by old, so...
Yep, old.
Yep, we answer them in the order received.
Since ships and lead are an integral part of the game, do you think Frontier should release at least one new ship per major patch, or would you rather see them focus their efforts on their content first? So what do you want? More ships or more content? Which is basically same.
Yeah. You're asking me what I think of that, or?
Yep.
Well, obviously it depends on whether the particular patch actually warrants a new ship. With the upcoming passenger missions, then it makes sense to have new ships. Obviously, you're going to need the liners, the Dolphin and the Beluga. We've already got the Orca, but you really need new ships for that. With the engineers, we really didn't need new ships, so I suppose it would have been a bit of a waste to just introduce one for the sake of it. But my personal feeling on that is I'd kind of like to see Frontier introduce at least one game mechanic with each patch that requires a new ship, or at least requires existing ships to be used in a slightly different way.
Yeah,
probably might be a bit unrealistic, but
that would be my point. That new ships, just for the sake of new ships, no. But if new ships add something to the game or change something, yes, definitely. An example, multi-crew. I don't know how they will implement multi-crew with current ships.
Yeah, I think someone asks that a bit further down.
Okay,
so we can talk about that in a minute.
Can you think of rational reason? Maybe you should read. Gorbash.
Can you think of a rational reason why engineer crafting resources are not all materials? So why are some of them commodities, I think he's asking. Mm-hmm. Does it help players or Frontier in a way he can't imagine? Could making them all materials push engineers from a strong negative to an actual possibility? As an alternative, if there are any different approaches to make the experience more manageable within Sandbox gameplay, it'll be very welcome to get an overview of what you think, I think.
I would say that I can't think of any rational reason why engineer crafting resource not all are materials, because it forces us to have cargo racks on our combat ships. It forces us to have something in our cargo hold, and with NPCs, they can't filter. I don't know why Frontier did not implement that. If you encounter pirates, they should watch your cargo bay contents. I had a lot of pirates who shot at me rockets. One rocket worth more than my cargo bay content. And he's saying, tasty cargo, I'm gonna be rich. No, you're gonna be poor, because one shot and you get less from me.
You're already down.
Yeah, you're already in minus.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's only, I don't want to say it, but it's only to annoy players.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm not really sure whether whether it's a kind of deliberate that Frontier have done it that way, or it's an unintended
It's unintended.
consequence. Yeah,
Definitely unintended.
Yeah,
It's not
I was
not
going
good.
to say, because otherwise it just feels as though they're just artificially adding more things in for us to do and to react to.
But most you can buy. There are only several which you can't. You
Yeah.
need to do missions. So in the end, it all that we have to do is now just dump all cargo bay contents, do whatever we want, visit these holder killing places or resource extraction sites, and then we go and fly to system or planet dock and buy back what we just dumped, because if we have this in our cargo hold, we always are under attack.
Yeah, which is a problem. That's one of the largest complaints actually I've seen on the forums. A lot of people complain about that.
It's very annoying. It's
Yeah,
not a big deal, but it's very annoying. Yeah, I
I think that's
understand.
isn't that one of the sort of things they're talking about dealing with in the next patch?
I actually did not see that they said anything about regarding commodities.
Commodities. Now it's all mostly materials, wasn't it? And
Yes.
making them slightly easier to
So
get.
I doubt they will change this.
I don't know that getting materials, whilst on that subject, is something that necessarily needs to be made more easy. I think it's something that needs to be made more interesting.
It's again, they want us to work,
Yeah.
to earn something, but it's a game. Why we should work hard to earn something? We should enjoy ourselves.
It's difficult, yeah. It needs huge time investment. Sometimes I sit down and, I want to go on Elite for 30 minutes or just an hour. And when you think, what can you actually do in that time? It's difficult to fit something that actually...
But it adds up. It adds up a lot.
Oh, you can do a bit here and a bit there and add up, yeah. But I'm thinking in terms of, say you want to go and get some... I'll go and get a bit more antimony or a bit more polonium. There's no guarantee you're actually going to find any within that play session.
Yeah, but you will find something, and if you are close to limit, and you will be close to limit after some time, because you will have a lot of rare stuff in your cargo, in your material storage.
Yeah,
Like I have now antimony, like 50, and other stuff. I can't. Well, I can dump it, but I know that I will need it in future.
Yeah. So kind of like I was saying earlier, when I had trouble finding the arsenic, but I still found a load of polonium anyway. Yeah, you might not find what you want, but you'll find what you'll want for later on.
If you have space, yeah.
Yeah, if you've got the space.
So what do you guys think about Frontier's approach to storylines so far with Galnet? With their talk of the missing, it makes me sad, we'll only be experienced most of that. Text, articles, what do you think? It actually sums up my feeling, it's all only text. It's nothing
Well,
behind this text.
Yeah, is the missing? Yeah, are they even there yet? Yeah. It depends, doesn't it? I mean, so much of it is... This actually ties into one of the actual questions on Reddit. I think we can answer both together. The next question on Reddit is, what are your thoughts on the unknown artifact, Barnacle's and unknown probe storylines, such as its speed of progression, content and gameplay? I think we can talk about both those questions at the same time, can't we?
Yeah.
Really?
There is no story for now, no gameplay. Sadly.
I think there's gameplay for the people that actually
Role-playing only.
make up their own gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Canon Research, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a really active thread on the forum. There's probably hundreds of people involved in that. And there was something I was quite impressed with, if I'll be honest, with the sound that the unknown artifact makes. And that turned out to be encrypted audio. There's a whole process that the players had to go into to actually decode all that, but a lot of that involved using real world tools in order to do it. You couldn't actually do it in game.
But it also it gave you there was a picture behind this picture of one ship, I remember correctly, yeah?
Yes, it was giving you a code for the ship that you were actually flying. So I think the original one was a Vulture. So it's what was happening is that the unknown artifact was scanning your ship and then transmitting a code and encoded
But so far that's
information
all
that
it does,
could
yeah?
describe that ship. Yeah. I mean,
Sadly.
in terms of Frontier and their story, I think the idea was that these unknown artifacts were sending the signal back to someone somewhere describing what humanity's ships are like. I don't know, but that
like
really
probes,
ties into what you're saying, doesn't it? About
Yeah.
the story being text-based and not readily available to everyone.
Maybe it will make sense after 5 years.
It'll make sense eventually, won't it? Yeah. This is something. I mean, how do you feel about the question now on Reddit? Someone's asking, how do you feel about the speed of progression and the content relating to those elements of the gameplay or the game, like the unknown artifact and that lot? I mean, what do you think about that?
You mean regarding unknown artifact?
Unknown artifact, like the guy in, I forget his name there, he mentioned in the chat about the missing as well. I mean, what do you think about that sort of content? There's content there, but it's
what you can do with that content? You can only stare at it.
Yeah, and pick it up.
Yeah, you can actually ram unknown artifact, get to unknown fragments, 1 or 2, and then go to Professor Pauline, and unlock him. That's it.
Yeah, and people have been UA bombing stations with it, haven't they?
Oh yeah, I forget that. You can actually sell unknown artifact if you buy these cargo racks from Professor Palin. You can go to any station, sell it, and watch station slowly die.
I actually had one of those unknown artifacts just after Horizons was released. I just happened to come across one, and I wasn't paying attention to my cargo hold. They corrode the cargo. If you haven't got well, obviously they weren't in the game back then, the corrosive resistant ones. And I was flying over the surface of a planet about 3 kilometers up, and the probe, the unknown artifact, fell out the bottom of my ship. And you know that, as it wailed away, you could hear it wailing, slowly going fainter and fainter into the distance as it went down toward the planet's surface. I never found it again.
Wow. But I think it's unintentional that you can destroy stations by unknown artifacts.
Yeah, you reckon they've just gone with that? You reckon Frontier went with that?
Yeah. Oh, it's a hard question. If you were in charge of deciding which features should come first to last in Elite, what should they be? Also, do you think station inventory is mandatory for current stage of engineers? Yes, station inventory is mandatory. If you mean module storage, or at least if you are at shipyard, you should see which modules are upgraded, which are not. I would actually prefer to see which class weapons I have, because in huge hardpoint you can have anything up to huge, and if I have there something, it does not mean it's huge. And if you have, like me, 24 ships, yes, it takes quite some time to find the module. But first part, so Obsidian, if you were in charge of deciding which features should come first to last in Elite, what would they be?
Well, it depends if I'm being realistic or unrealistic. If I'm being unrealistic, I'd love to see atmospheric landings as soon as possible. Yeah, yeah. Even if all it is sightseeing, if you've got true Earth-like planets out there, then you've got so much different types of a landscape that would be possible. Have you ever had a look at Space Engine?
No. Actually, no.
Have you seen it at all on YouTube?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So you know what it is. It's basically a universe simulator, isn't it, where you can go around to all types of planets. And that has some amazing planets on it, if you see the screenshots that are dotted around the internet. So I'd absolutely love to have atmospheric planets and fly over oceans of ammonia with neon green skies and red clouds, or, crikey knows what else. But realistically, I don't know. I think really they have to be released in the order Frontier are releasing them in at the moment, because each expansion needs the element that's coming before it. Yeah, like you need the avatar portraits for passenger missions, and before you can have multi-crew you need the avatars created. So I guess it kind of makes sense why Frontier are introducing it in that way. So two sides to it. Yeah, there's stuff I'd like to actually personally see, but it's probably not that realistic. What about you? What would you like to see next, Cornelius?
Well, if you started about realistic, unrealistic, then I would say that I would make sure that players have something to do. So an easiest way probably will be Thargoids. Just give us something to shoot, because we have engineers, but we have nothing where we can use these modules. That's for now, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know many players, many friends, many commanders just switch to other game for now, at least, because they achieved some level now and there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Only things they can do is just kill other players, but they don't want to do that. So
trying to invade systems then.
Yeah.
A Thargoid or something like that.
No, give us common enemy, which is very powerful, and our upgraded ships are must-have there. So we will be teaming up with other players and having fun. But realistically, actually, I would like to see I don't care which feature comes first and last. I would like to see more meaning and more life into old features like wings, like Powerplay. Same actually with Horizons, a little bit more on planets. More meaning to missions, to naval progression. It's not so hard to add a little stuff there.
Yeah, a bit here and there. All adds to the meat of the game, doesn't it? Or it would. Yeah,
it will make it all alive, more alive. Now it's just a lot of stuff, but when you watch it, you don't know what to do. And Powerplay, they also admitted that Powerplay, very few are playing Powerplay. So... And if they don't change anything with Powerplay, nobody will play it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the result of the player power will be on Powerplay.
Just
if that'll have any effect, or yeah. Will it essentially be the same?
But player-controlled power, as far as I understand, it's only like a name. They don't have any influence.
No,
maybe
they don't give them any extra ability, does it?
So... in the end, it's just another power, just different name.
Okay.
Are either of you attending LaveCon? Are you going?
I was planning on going, but unfortunately I can't make it now, so a bit disappointed about that because I was kind of looking forward to it. As
I am not
quite
going,
a few Frontier people. Yeah, it's a long way for you though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably be quite good though. I'm sure Frontier will have something to say about. I think there's about 10 of the guys going from Frontier.
They should. It's LaveCon.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's fan organised, but even still.
From exploration perspective, what were you both hoping for when ED first released? What was your hope? What you were hoping for?
The question there goes on to say about they were expecting the galaxy map to be unpopulated as you explored, and I don't know if it could have been realistic to fit in the galaxy just as you're personally exploring, but I'd have liked the map to be populated with details as other players are exploring and selling their data. I mean, as soon as they sell their data to the stations, I was kind of hoping that information then would be available on my own galaxy map. But it's not without actually having to go to the system they sold it to and buy it, is it? Yeah, I was hoping for like a central repository of where all this information went onto the galaxy map, so that as players started exploring,
so you could exchange information regarding different points of interest.
Yeah, it would all go into a central galaxy map, and everyone would get access to it. Kind of like how Google Maps works in a way. People upload their photos to it, don't they? And you can see all these points of interest if you go to any area on Google Maps. I'd like to have seen something like that, really.
Yeah, from realism point of view, it doesn't make sense that you can go there, scan, your friend can go there, scan, and you both get paid for this, because first comes, its information should be available to everyone and it should be worthless.
Yeah.
But if I answer this question, I was hoping to see something different. I mean, in Habitat Bubble, if you land somewhere, you see more or less nothing interesting, but if you go 5, 10, 20,000, you should see something really cool. Some lost civilization, I don't know, some wrecks, something very rewarding, something unique. You will never be able to see. But apart from View, from Nebulous and other stuff, you don't see anything there.
Yeah, at the moment there's some very pretty areas out there, but...
Exactly, pretty area is nothing.
Yeah.
I was hoping that there will be something, not only just View.
Yeah. Lost cities. Generation ships.
Yeah, some very
artifacts.
Cool artifacts, exactly. Some ships you scan, bring back, and you have like 20 million profit. Your name is in Galnet. You found lost expedition, blah, blah, blah. Something like that.
Yeah, oh God, there was some talk of things like that as well, wasn't there? I remember David Braben talking about finding lost things out there in space. I know there's talk now about the missing. and things like that. But
yeah,
there's nothing really out there for explorers to find other than other planets.
but for me the saddest part is that you see all same inhabited bubble. You don't need to travel 5,000-10,000 light years away. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and when we get to Jaques, it's essentially going to be the same, but against a pretty nice backdrop, I guess.
So yeah, I think we can...
One was just said that if we refresh the Reddit page, there's just another question or two there.
I think I did refresh already. Let's see. Yeah, we are done with Reddit, so thank you guys for your questions. And we hope that we will make...
There's Stuart's just asked if could we quickly just address that. Has asked us if we could discuss a thread there on the... Let's have a look where that thread goes to.
Let's go to this comment and see.
Yeah, can you see there? Lockdown in Segavan has ended. Don't know what this is about there. A series of events has...
We used valid gameplay mechanics, we played in open, we killed no commanders. This is not valid. If you play in open, you should kill commanders. Joking. We used our knowledge... What happened there? Lockdown in Segavan has ended manually. Maybe it's a bug. You don't know that. You should wait for Frontier's official answer. It's very hard. You know, this... we must say that this is huge game, even while there is very little sense in some parts and no sense in most parts, but it's very huge game and you can't expect all work properly from day one. There will be bugs and there will be a lot of stuff that will not work as intended. My issue is that it's not fixed even a year or 2 years after release. No, now it's 1.5 years after release, and in example Wings last year March, Powerplay last year at this point. And they did not do anything regarding those two. I was very excited about Wings and Powerplay, but... And they acknowledged that there is a problem, but for some reason they are waiting for fix. I don't know why. I'm always taught that if you complete something, you should not move to next stage before you completely finish first one. And to me it seems that Wings are not even close to finishing, completing, and same as Powerplay.
Yeah, and then moving on to the next thing already.
Yes, and we already have, and soon we'll have multi-crew and passengers. So basically, maybe we will never have Wing co-op missions or Wing activities specific.
I'm
sadly.
actually interested in seeing what the answer is from Frontier on this particular event, so I'll keep an eye on that and I'll discuss it in a video maybe later this week. So certainly something that's worth, whether it's just a bug as you're saying, Kornelius, or whether Frontier didn't want the story going in a certain direction. It'd be interesting to see how that goes.
I hope they would do something like that. It's most likely a bug.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we will have something similar soon.
Yeah, I'd like to do this again. So
it all depends on your feedback. If you like it, if you want more, tell us. If you don't want, well,
yeah,
life is life. So let's hope soon we'll see patch with more material drops, with module storage, upgrade SRV scanners, and I really hope they will add some more alternative ways of obtaining several materials, because those which require data point scans I really don't like, really. They take too much time. Have you actually tried any base attack, base assault?
Oh yeah, I tried a few. This was very early on, I haven't gone back to it yet. But I found it very difficult to actually get into the base itself. You know, the ships are flying over the top, and for some reason they seem to very easily be able to target your SRV.
You should get rid of ships first, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it takes too much time, and there's again no guarantee that you'll receive these scans. So thank you all for watching, and fly safe, commanders.
Thanks for all your questions. Thank you.